Okay, I've got two mics. One of them should be working. I don't know if it's this one or this one. One of them is working. So, right? Can you hear me? Cool. I have a mic on the camera as well. I have another microphone. Oh yeah, I've got another one too. I've got another one. One of them has to work, so always come prepared. All right, we're going to do group policies today. This is a very useful topic. Really, really, really useful topic. So let's get stuck into this. I just want to do a brief explanation. I know you guys who are here are pretty switched on. You probably know what a group policy is already. But for those who are a bit rusty on it, let me just go through a couple of things. So what is a group policy? It's a tool set inside the Microsoft Windows Server operating systems that enables IT admins to centrally manage many aspects of pretty much any Microsoft related operating systems, Windows 11, Windows 10, even Windows 7 if they're still. But also, we are managing our domain user accounts and computer accounts. This is an interesting concept. In Active Directory, remember, we deal with objects. A user account is actually a user object, and a computer account has its very own object as well. There's also service accounts too. They're own objects. So our group policy can centrally, from a central location, from a server, usually the Active Directory server, we can push configurations. And did you notice what I just said there? Did you notice what I just mentioned? Something really, really, really powerful here. Profound. Push configurations onto domain joined computer accounts or user accounts. Now, here they've said this gently. They said publish or issue. Make no mistake, we're pushing configuration. We're forcing configuration. Publish and issues is a pleasant way of doing it. It's a nice way, you know. It's like you go into a boxing ring with Mike Tyson in the old days, in the 80s, not now, and he'll beat you up. You can say he beat me up pleasantly. It was a pleasant experience. No, it wasn't. He knocked me out. You know, group policy forces configurations on Active Directory. Domain joined objects. Yeah, like usually user accounts and group account, computer accounts. Make no mistake about that. And what type of settings? What type of settings? Pretty much Windows 10, 11, Windows 7, everything you can think of. Anything that's in the registry edit. Let me show you. And no one will tell you this. But you guys are smart, so I know that you can handle this. So if I go to my registry editor, don't you notice I've got a registry editor for local machine? Current user. Wonder what that's about. When we have a group policy, what exactly are we doing? We are changing configurations that end up changing the registry reg edit. This is Microsoft. This is what sets it apart from Linux, Unix, BSD. It's a registry edit. This is what makes Microsoft Windows, reg edit. So we're changing variables in here. Control panel, for example, look at this. The control panel, if we go to the desktop, I can change colors here. I can change configuration. We don't usually do anything here. We usually just right click the background and change the settings there. But I can change the values here if I know what I'm doing. If I don't know what I'm doing, I won't mess around with this. So when we push a configuration through a group policy based on the computer or my current user, depends, it actually changes here. There's other parts of the system that it changes as well, but this is an area here that gets updated. So for example, if I don't want anyone to go into the control panel, I don't exactly know where. I should know. It's been a long time since I messed around with the regedit. Last time I messed around with these things like Windows 7, it was such a long time ago. Maybe Windows 10 when it first came out. No really need for me to come in here very often. But there is a setting here. I don't know exactly what it is, which one. But there is a setting that you can disable control panel. Group policy, you can prevent users from using control panel. It's one reason why you would use it. You would create a group policy. You don't want people to mess around with the desktop with the control panel or the settings. That's as a network administrator, I would be preventing users from doing that. I don't know why. Honestly, I really don't know. When I used to work at the bank or insurance company, I never messed around with my computers, with my system. I did my work. I got there 10 minutes early, signed on, get a coffee, sit down, wait for 9 o'clock, press the button, talk to people. 5 o'clock, I'm out of there. But people just like to mess around with their computers for some reason. Maybe it's just a curiosity. People just love to I don't know. They get bored and they want to do stuff. We have to stop them. And the way to do that is through a group policy. Now, we can do all sorts of desktops. Any type of desktop that's got a Windows operating system on it, really. Laptops, same thing. Windows servers. Sometimes even Macs and Ubuntu. Ubuntu can join an Active Directory now. I think that we've been able to do that for like 2 years, and configure it with group policy. That's pretty new. There's not much you can do that. There's really not much. I'm going to make a statement here that thanks to group policy object and Active Directory in general, this is the reason why Windows, Microsoft, absolutely dominates workstation and home computers. That's why Mac will never ever break into the business market. They might they use Macs for graphics and sound and all that kind of stuff. And I love the Mac. I love the Apple. But Windows is the dominant. It dominates when it comes to business applications and gaming too. And this is all done from a central location. This is the key word here. I could, if I wanted to, go to every single machine and do this configuration on every single machine. But why waste my time? If I've got 1,000 computers, and I want to disable control panel, I could log in as administrator on each local machine, and I could add user accounts, and I could say to them, okay, these user accounts, can't do this, can't do that. But what's the point? I just do an Active Directory, group policy object, link it to an OU. Bob's your uncle, and that's it, done. Bob's not my uncle, by the way. My uncle's name's Mahmoud. So, all right. What's an OU? All right. There's a reason why I'm explaining this. Sometimes it's really easy to miss. Again, I wish someone told me this. Okay. When I want to configure a group policy, I configure it most of the times, 99.9999.09%. I'm going to apply that to a group, an organizational unit, which is, it's not really a folder, it's a container. And usually it's going to be like Melbourne or Sydney, or it could be human resources. And we will put groups in here and users. We'll put groups and users in here. Okay. Now, this is bonus material. Okay. You all owe me a coffee for this. What I'm going to show you now. Actually, let me get the whiteboard. I might make this a bit bigger. I'm not sure if you know this already, but if you don't know this, then you owe me a coffee. Next time you see me walking the streets in the city, if you see me in the city, getting one of those beautiful, delicious, what do you call it? You know, those Japanese cakes on Swanson Street? You know, there's one in Melbourne Central. Is it called Puffs or something like that? I forgot the name of it. I don't worry about the name. I just worry about the smell and the oh, it is absolutely beautiful. If you see me walking past and you get me one of those, I will give you a HD on all your assignments. That's, by the way, welcome, Amit. Welcome. There's another Japanese cake shop on the Flinders Street side too. Oh my God. Now you know why I'm so fat, because I just love that food. But anyway, organizational unit. It could be, we could call it HR, human resources. We could call it sales. Let's call it sales. This is the sales OU. I will put users in here, you know, users that work in sales. Okay. Better still, this is bonus. This is where you owe me a coffee for this. Okay. You ready? I'm not going to create users. I'm going to create a group. And I will put users in this group. So it's like nested. I'll put a group inside an OU. And I'll put users like Harry. And I'll put Tanner. And I'll put who else do we? We've got Hugo. I'll put I'm going to put you in this user group. Why would I do that? And I'm going to call it group sale. You know why? Yeah. What I'm going to tell you is worth the money, because for the OU, I'm going to configure and apply and deploy and force group policies. And for the user group, I'm going to grant and permit access to resources, like a file share, for example. This is common practice. This is good practice to do this. This is how it's done in the real world if it's efficient. Mind blowing. You all owe me a coffee now, or a Japanese cake. This is. If someone told me this 20 years ago, I would have saved like 1 trillion hours of work. So we're going to apply a group policy to this organizational unit. I can apply to just one user if I want to. Say like Justin's just coming now. I can apply a group policy just to Justin wherever he signs in. Wherever he signs in, the group policy will be assigned to him and only him. We very, very rarely do that, but possible. So basically, everyone in this group and in this organizational unit, no matter which group they're in, no matter who's in here or what, you know, also, by the way, I can put computers in here too. I could. We don't usually, but I could. Any object that's in here that the group policy has a configuration for gets applied at this level. Perfect. So what's an organizational unit? It's a container object within AD to organize resources. We're going to logically group. Now, be careful here. When we logically group users, we're not creating groups. Groups is different. Group and Active Directory is a security group. We call it security group. In this OU, we're grouping, we're collecting, we're combining. It's like a school of fish or a herd of camels or a troop of kangaroos. Okay, we're grouping them. It's not an official title, a group. Be careful here, because there's a security group that has that official title. We're just combining the individuals or objects that we want to have a common configuration for. Active Directory can be extremely, extremely complicated, really complicated, and you need to be able to You need to make this as simple as possible. Keep it simple, silly. Or as Shane Warne used to say, keep it simple, stupid. So I've seen organizations with 30, 40,000 users, and they like have maybe 5 or 6 OU and work absolutely perfectly. There are other ways to do that granular configuration, a little bit beyond our discussion here. But we're going to logically group users, groups, computers, and other. We can nest OUs as well. Let me show you what that would look like. So I've got an organizational unit here. I could call this the Melbourne OU. Within the Melbourne OU, I could put HR OU. I could put sales OU in here, and so on. I can then create another one called the Sydney OU, and then create a HR just for the Sydney branch, just sales just for the Sydney. You have to plan for this. This requires a lot of planning. We might instead do a human resources OU and then divide it by city. Whatever works. There's no right or wrong answer to that. It's only wrong if you don't plan it properly. By the way, I'm just I forgot to start my machine, so I better start that now. Get your engines running, everyone. All right, nice. It's hierarchical, so we can nest it, and it reflects organization. So we'll do it by department's location. Administrative control, we can delegate control to an OU. So we can say, look, okay, you're the boss of this OU, you go configure it in Active Directory. It helps with security management. We can enforce consistent policies and access controls, and we can improve resource organization, blah, blah, blah. There we go. So, for example, the background. If you work for Telstra, if you ever go to a Vodafone store, for example, and you see on their computers, actually, I don't know if that's true. I haven't been. I went to the Vodafone store the other day, but I can't remember. Where have I been? NAB. I was at NAB, and on their screen, you can see a background that has a picture of NAB on it. NAB. Yeah. That's group policy being enforced, being deployed. Now, finally, what is, and then we'll go and do the lab. And I don't mind staying a bit longer today. We have to go over a bit. But what's a group policy object? It is a collection of settings, okay, that define how system and user environments behave. So I could have a background, a consistent background. That's one part. I can say no control panel for anyone. No one's allowed to use control panel. I put it in the same group policy object. I could say no one is allowed to change the time. Same group policy object. That group policy object is connected or linked, the proper word's linked, to an OU, but it's got 5 different settings in there, for example. Some key components. Oh, by the way, the reason we do this, we centralize this from a central location. You don't leave your computer. You don't have to go to every single computer and deploy this. So we want to configure an operating systems. We can deploy and configure applications in large organizations. They won't. They'll probably use something like Schism or System Center Configuration Manager in the old days, or Intune in the new days, which is Azure. By the way, Intune, if you guys want to do a little bit of extra study and learn and take up a certification, it's a bit challenging. Microsoft, it's easier than the Cisco ones. Do an exam on Windows. What was it? It's one of the Windows desktop. I forgot the name of it. I'll try to remember it, but it's all about Intune. So basically, it's like you don't use group policy, but you use Intune to do these configurations on devices that are remote or mobile devices like Apple, Android, tablets, and laptops. That they're not connected to a traditional domain anymore. Can I just tell you that at RMIT, Swinburne University, they did not give me a computer. I have never been to Swinburne University as a teacher, as an instructor. I was there as a student many years ago. They didn't give me a computer. So the resources I use, there's no group policy. It's done through Intune. But with RMIT, same thing. I don't log on to a domain for RMIT. I bought a laptop and I use it, and I don't even sign in with RMIT. All I need is email and Microsoft 365 now. So that's the future. But by the way, group policy Active Directory is incredibly popular still. And by the way, I'm just going to start this lab. By the way, I'm starting this while I'm talking. And by the way, you heard it first from me, but a lot of organizations are getting sick of the cloud-based infrastructure. They're getting tired of it. It's really expensive, more expensive than they were promised. A lot of organizations actually making the move back over to on-prem. And what do they need for on-prem? Active Directory group policy. So whatever you're learning now, it's still very, very valuable. So don't despair. Okay, that's still going. So yeah, log on there. Does anyone have any questions while I'm just about to finish this slide? Any questions? Does anyone any questions? It doesn't have to be about. We can talk about cricket. You can ask me a question about cricket or how to make Lebanese falafel, whatever. Does anyone have a question of any type? No? Ooh, okay. That's straightforward, Amit. That's like, no, Harry. Let's go to labs. I want to do the labs. Stop talking. Okay, all right, Amit. Okay, you got it. But first, before I do that, policy. So key components, we can configure policies, and so here's a bit of a tricky one. Policies are specific rules and settings like password policies and desktop configurations. Yeah, the users cannot change the setting. Preferences, we set up in a desktop environment for the user, but the user can change it if they want to. They can change it to their liking if they want. So it's a bit of a difference there. And scope. So we're going to apply to a user or a computer or both. Are we going to link it to a site, like a branch site, or a domain, or an organization? So domain means everyone. Now, I'm going to teach you something else that I wish someone taught me. If you're going to configure a password policy at a domain, and then you decide that you want one for an OU, the organizational unit password policy will not work ever. Someone told me there's a workaround. I've never been able to figure it out. I've spent hours trying to figure it out. So if you're going to do a password policy at a domain level, just be aware. Local GPOs, you can log in as an administrator, and there is a local GPO, and I'll show you now really quickly. It's called, you type edit group policy. Oh, you didn't see that, but there it is. That's my local. This is on my machine. This is on my Windows 11 device right here. Software settings, and this will look almost exactly the same as our group policy in Active Directory. And this is what gets configured really, but we do that centrally. So this is on my local computer. I don't have a domain in my local home. Sorry, my home, my residence. So I don't need it. But in a business, yeah, they would need that. All right, let's just go. Let's just go into this. We'll go into this lab. So as usual, we'll bring up server. No, we won't. We'll go to Hyper-V. And what else are we going to do? We're going to get the lab. So I'm working on lab 4A. Okay. And what I need to do is, so here's the scenario. We are going to configure a policy setting that locks computer screens when users leave computers unattended for 10 minutes or more. Okay, and this is a good security policy because if you walk away from your computer, someone can come and do something on your computer, and that's bad. Except from the IT team. So we'll configure a policy for normal users, but we're not going to apply that to the IT team because they need to run applications, blah, blah, blah. Configure a policy setting to prevent access to certain programs. So we don't want people using programs. Configure conference room computers to use 45-minute timeout with group policy loopback processing. And then we'll evaluate to make sure that's working. All right, let's get stuck into this. You all got the labs up and running. You've got the lab guides. And now we're going to have fun. We're going to shut down all these machines. We're going to turn them off. I don't know why these start running because I did turn these off. I really did. I don't know why it came back on again. So I'm just going to reset. I'm going to revert them. I'm going to revert all of them just because I can. Oh, there's no checkpoint on that one. All right, I'm happy with that. So now let's go to Windows. Which one was it? We'll go to Windows 22 DC. This is where the group policy will be. We'll start the engines. You always will want to start this first. Okay, perfect. So now we will just we'll wait for a bit. We'll double click that one. I know it's really hot today. It's hot and humid. Super humid. Kind of feels like Singapore. Yeah, so while we're waiting, I wish I had a joke for you guys. I don't have a joke today. It's a joke-free day. I can't think of anything. Oh, here we go. Password. Saved by the bell. Oh, great. So now we'll just wait for the manager to appear. And we'll keep waiting, and we will keep waiting, and we'll keep waiting because I only have 2 gigs of RAM. And we'll keep waiting. Okay, we should be good to go now. All right, so we'll go to Tools, and we'll go to, what do we have to go to? What is it asking us to do? Yeah, so we are going to go over let's go to File Explorer. Go to File Explorer because it wants us to check that we've got this particular file that we want a PowerShell script. By the way, group policies can all be done in PowerShell. In fact, anything we do in Windows now actually gets converted to, or most of the things get converted to PowerShell scripts anyway, PowerShell commands. But we go to C and then data, or data as Americans call it. And yeah, there we go, Swinburne create. So this is going to, this script will create an OU group of users. Let's just right click. And I'm just going to show you a little trick. Right click and open with, and we're going to open with Notepad. So I just want to see what the script looks like. And that's what the script, so it's this script this is how we create users really quickly. A script like this. A new group called development, IT, managers, marketers, research. If I was you, Control A, Control C, get a Notepad file. Are you all doing this? This is on my local machine, okay? And paste that script and save it somewhere. Put it on your Google Drive or your OneDrive or something. This is a very, very useful script, okay? Trust me on this. You will love this. You'll be glad that you did, because you can create a really quick lab environment, super fast, and I can do this on my own hypervisor at home too. Okay, so I would recommend you do that. You don't have to. I'm not forcing you to do it. But now I'm going to run it. So just double click. Oh, well, that's anticlimactic. Right click and then run with PowerShell. I've got a feeling it might, yeah, that's fine. It's okay. So capital A for yes to all. And it's going to create the organizational units, the groups, the users, all in one shot. Do you know how long this is going to take me to create by myself? I'd have to point and click. It's going to take me at least an hour to do all this. The script only took me 5 seconds. So PowerShell, this is PowerShell commands. PowerShell is awesome. Let's see if this worked. I just want to make sure that that worked before I do anything else. The lab's not telling me to do it yet, but I just want to make sure that that I can get that those groups are have been created. And so we'll go to Tools, Active Directory users for computers. And drum roll, there's an organization unit done. Took us 5 seconds to deploy that with a script. The script might take me about 10 minutes to write. This script will take me about 10 minutes. But all up, to do all this, probably take me an hour. And then I'll be making, so get used to PowerShell scripting. Trust me. If you're gonna do this for a living, PowerShell scripting. If you're gonna do Active Directory stuff, PowerShell is your friend. Now let's go over to Hyper-V. We'll just minimize that one. Go back to Hyper-V, and let's get client 101 up and running. So right click, start, and just connect to it. So now when we log in to the domain, we'll log in with a username that's already been created for us. And we should be getting access to that. Let me just connect that one. Yeah. I'm pretty sure that this computer's already logged onto the domain already. So when you first, I've logged on as an administrator, haven't I? That might not be what we want to do. Hang on, let me go back. Actually, I need to log out. Sorry, my bad. We'll log out of that because we want to log in as a domain user, right? We don't want to log in as the local administrator. Perfect. Now we'll go over to, so we're going to create, so the next part, which is exercise 1, we're going to create and configure a GPO. We're going to create and edit a GPO to enable screensaver. We'll apply it to a particular OU later on when we finished. Okay. Once we've created these GPOs and we've done some editing and we're going to prevent running of Notepad and all that kind of stuff, later on we'll run them. We'll deploy them. So I'm just going to put the desktop away for a bit. Go back over to DC1. I can get rid of that. I don't need that now. For now, we might come back. And task 1, let's go and launch group policy. Group policy manager. I don't know, when I first did GPO, it just felt so mysterious and so magical, and so really felt like I'm doing something, yeah, like Harry Potter or something, like I'm a wizard now. But see these organizational units here? They were not there before we ran the script. These are where the group policies are linked to, if we want to create. So we can right click and create one there, or we could create one somewhere else and then link them there. This options. Microsoft loves options. Let me tell you now. So we'll go over to SWin local, expand domains, and yeah, we've done that. Click on group policy containers. Over here, see that down there? So we're going to, this is the default domain controller policy. Okay, I'm just going to cancel that. This is the default. This is the domain wide. So the domain controller, and this is for the domain in its entirety. But what we want to do is we want to right click, I believe, and yeah, and then go to new, and I'm going to create a enable screensaver. A lot of there's a best practice that even though you can create 5 or 6 different configurations in the one GPO, it's probably better to create separate GPOs. It's probably, or GPOs that are related, like configurations that are similar. Nice. Okay, so now I'm going to right click and go to edit, and this is where I get to do stuff in here. Now, let me just get my group policy editor from my Windows 11 machine to show you. Okay, so this is my Windows 11 machine. This is group policy in Active Directory. They're not exactly the same, but they look similar, don't they? Computer configuration, it's a bit different. There's policies and preferences there. This is broken up into a little bit. It is different, right? There are some differences. Software. So look, there is a difference in my local machine, Windows 11 machine. Okay, but you can see computer configuration, user configuration, Windows settings, administrative templates, blah blah blah. Okay. Similar, but not exactly the same. Okay, perfect. Now we'll go over to user configuration. We'll go to policy. So whatever we do in the policies, they will deploy on the desktop, and the user won't be able to change them. Okay, user will not be able to change these configurations. Under preferences, they can. All right, so we'll go to policies and expand administrative templates. Then we'll go to control panel. This stuff here, this is where I can prevent our users from messing around with the control panel. If users get to mess around with the control panel, they can damage the computer. They can, and which is incredibly frustrating. In IT support, this is annoying. They're messing around. My advice to companies: just don't let users mess around with the control panel. Just don't let them touch it. Or Windows settings, or software settings. Don't let them mess around with it. Desktop, they can do what they like, who cares? But the control panel, no. So we are going to do control panel, and we'll go to personalization. And then we are going to double click screensaver over here. Maybe, yeah, double click. Now, can I tell you something? Microsoft can be very cryptic and very, they can be sort of like mysterious, or they won't tell you. But when it comes to group policy, the documentation here is unbelievable. It's better than ChatGPT. Like if I stuck and I didn't know what I was doing, I read. Look at this. It specifies how much user idle time must elapse before the screen saver is launched. Perfect. Why can't Microsoft do this for everything else? They've done a great job here. I guess because group policy was something that Microsoft bought from another company in the 90s, and that the 90s company had that documentation really well written. So, all right, so we're going to enable. Now, be careful in group policy when you enable, because it could be a double negative. You might want to negate something. You want to turn something off, but you have to enable the rule. You need to enable the rule to switch something off. It is confusing as heck. Just be careful here. Maybe you disable something, you disable this rule, this group policy, so that you can enable a feature. It is really confusing, okay? But again, this description helps a lot, okay? So I'm going to do enabled, and then I get an option here for seconds. 600 seconds is 10 minutes, okay? And I like to apply and then okay. I don't just press OK. I like to apply, then OK, just habits. I never go wrong when I do that. Now I'm going to go to password protect the screensaver over here. By the way, if it's not configured, then it's not enabled, okay, by default. If it's not configured, this policy is not enabled, but it's not disabled. It's implicitly disabled. Implicit means there's no configuration here. It's not running right now, okay? Okay, so at the moment it's not configured, but it says, determines whether screensavers used on a computer are password protected. If I enable this, ensure the computer is password protected, enable enable screensaver. So when it goes into screensaver mode, we absolutely need the password to be able to get past that. All right, so then we'll go to, I like to apply, and then we'll go to OK. And that's that. We're finished. We should be able to close that. Close group policy. Okay, great. So there's that group policy there. It's there. It's running. Perfect. Yep. So if we right click it, yeah, we can do some stuff there. It's enabled. We can copy, delete it, rename it, write a report, back it up, whatever. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to jump, because I've just noticed that we've run out of time a bit. I'm running out of time. So you guys do task 2 and 3 in your own time. It's very similar to this. There's one policy that disables screensaver. You will want to use that for the IT group. Then there's another group GPO that will prevent running Notepad. If you follow what I did, this will be a breeze for you. You won't need to worry about this. So now I'm going to manage this group policy scope, which means where am I going to link this group policy to where? An OU or to the whole domain? Where am I going to do this? In this example, I am going to link it to the whole domain, I believe. Yeah, so what I'll do is I'll go to the default domain policy up here or here. I think it doesn't matter which one I use. It's either that one or that one. Right click. So right click. Yeah, up there. Link existing GPO. I could create a brand new one, by the way, if I wanted to. Or link, Microsoft loves options. Link to existing GPO. This is the one I've created. You have another 2 once you get going with your labs. Click OK. Now this policy, we're going to get rid of that, it's annoying, is now running now. Good, ready to go. Or is it? What do you think, guys? We've got 4 people in this room. Will that work straight away? So let's do this. We'll jump into computer client 10. What do you think? Will there be a password policy there working straight away? Who says yes and who says no? No one wants to have a shot at this? No? Maybe? All right, why not, Justin? Well, I'm going to do other users, other user, and then S win. Yes, so Justin, almost there. I'll explain in a second, but you're pretty good guess. So we're going to sign in. So first sign as administrator, okay. Okay. Yeah, you need to sync. Do you remember what you needed to sync, Justin? Do you remember what that was called? GPU update. Thank you, Tanner. Bingo. So the policy takes about I think it's between 45 minutes and 120 minutes for it to be deployed. The reason why it doesn't get deployed all at the same time immediately is because if you deploy a group policy, then a lot of traffic is generated on a network. So what they do is they choose the group policy at random intervals is deployed to each machine in random times. And that takes about 45 minutes to about 120 minutes. I think it's 120 minutes, but minimum I believe is 45 minutes. So we won't get that policy yet. Okay. Now I'm going to log out and log back in as Irene. Ooh, that doesn't look good. All right, let's log in as Irene. Yep, there you go, Irene Kim. This is good. So the computer's logged on to the domain. This is what's happening here is the profile is being downloaded. The reason I'm telling you this is because there's an activity later on where you're going to create a what's it called? What is it called again? Folder redirection. Folder redirection. So that means wherever you are, your folder will redirect to somewhere else. And that can be done through group policy. Pretty handy. So still, I'm not getting anything happening here. No problems. It's okay. Kind of expecting that. So, all right. So how do I know? How can I tell? GP modeling. By the way, I'm gonna show you something. I want to try something first. And I'm still I'm trying to remember the command for this. Hang on. GP results. So if I want to see the policy that I have currently, I can do something like this. So this will download this policy, and look at that. It looks like it was applied. The group policy was applied. That was quick, actually. That's quite. You know why? Okay, yeah. Because this is the first time Irene has logged into this. So here's some rules. If you want to get a policy straight away, to deploy straight away, on a machine, you can log off and log back on. You can restart, or you can do this, GP update. I think it's force, right? Yeah. They're the three ways that you can grab that group policy. You can force it. You don't have to wait 45 minutes to an hour. Okay, write those down. Write those down. All right, so the policy, we've got it. So if I just go tab up again, GP result /R, it shows me what policy I have. Okay, this is what I've got. Let's test it. So if I right click and I go to personalize, and I'm just going to lock the screen because I don't want to wait 10 minutes. Can't be bothered. You need to activate before you personalize it. Okay, well, that's not good. Lock screen. All right. All right, so if we do that, we can't because we need to activate it. Okay, that's embarrassing. Well, you'll just have to take my word for it. What happens if we did activate it? What would happen? Well, that's embarrassing, everyone. Not my fault. No, it's not my lack of skills or ability to teach. It's just right click, personalize, and we want to get that screensaver. Yeah, it's not going to happen. Lock screen, right click. No. Oh well, you'll have to take my word for it. GP update, yeah, correct. Thank you, Mustafa. Tanner, that's perfect. Yeah, perfect. I got you. So that would have worked, by the way. All right. So there was another one called disable screensaver, and basically what you would do is you'd log out and you'd log in with a user that was grouped inside an IT group OU. So when you do that, you will have the ability. You will then be in a disabled OU, and then you could do that GPU update or sign in and sign out or whatever, and that will work. That'll change that for you. Just going to check the next lab 4A. Sorry, 4B. Sorry. I've only got 2 minutes left, so I don't think we'll be able to do this. Okay. But you know what, team? You know what? I've got a really, really good feeling that you'll all be able to do all this. I don't think you're going to encounter that much trouble. Group policies actually are not that hard to configure and to get working. It's just got to be done. It's the planning. The planning is the hard part. Once you know what you're doing, you can deploy this really quickly and easily. You group users. Yep. Okay. All right. I'm gonna leave it at that because the rest of the lab will take really, really long time to do. This is the longest lab. But if anyone runs into any trouble, I am more than happy to do a video on this. Okay, I can do a video if anyone runs into trouble. It's a nice and easy topic. It's fun. It's engaging and interesting. It is very, 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 very useful. You will do this if you're working in support desk. This is where you'll be spending a lot of time at. All right, so Tanner and Justin, Amid, Hugo. Who else? Have I missed anyone? Any questions before we finish up?
Harry.
Yep.
I missed 2 weekly quiz. The first week and then the third week. Is there any way that we apply for that? Because there was a reason that I missed.
You mean an extension?
No, I'm
Like
not
if
talking about the
you,
extension, the weekly quiz. I
the
missed the.
weekly, the quiz. Yeah, yeah. You have that. That is an extension. All right, Justin. Take care. Yeah, if you've missed the quiz, then you have to apply for an extension. Otherwise, we can't work. So it is an extension, and it's too late, Amit. It's way too late for that.
Uh, like I just missed out.
It's really late. It's like really late.
Yeah,
All right, Mustafa, Tana, take care. But Amit, I tell you what we'll do. Send me an
yeah,
email, okay? Put in an extension request, okay? Put the request in and write a reason in there, and I'll review it,
okay,
okay?
okay, yeah, yeah. Because
I'll
I just
review it.
missed Monday. Thank you,
So
Harry.
yeah, do it now. Do it right now, and I'll have a look into it.
Okay, thank you, Harry. Thank you very much.
No worries. Thank you, Hugo. Thanks, mate. Take care.
All right, thank you. Have a good night, Harry.
All right, thank you. You too. Take care.
Yeah, bye.
I'm going to end the recording now.